Hello, and welcome. Today I'm going to teach you how to build a marketing agency from scratch. Personally, my name is Kalaluka. I'm the owner of Phoenix Media Grow, and basically we were able to reach $35,000 a month with my agency. And I've been running an agency for 2 years. At first, it wasn't making any money, so of course I know what works in an agency and what doesn't work. So basically, in this video, that's what I'm gonna be talking about. So, imagine waking up to notifications from clients whose businesses you've transformed. A local bakery has hit 10,000 followers. An e-commerce store sales doubled because of your ad strategy. This is not a fantasy. It is what running a social media marketing agency looks like. Let's explore how you can turn scrolling into scaling. Now, what is SMMA? A social media marketing agency is a specialized business that manages and optimizes brand social media presence. Unlike traditional marketing firms, SMMAs focus exclusively on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Facebook, acting as a digital architect who build communities rather than just audience. So now, why not now? The numbers. Social media advertising spend surpasses $268 billion by 2027, statistically. And the shift, 54% of consumers discover brands through social media. And this is according to Global Web Index. The opportunity. Most small businesses know they need social media, but lack the time and the expertise to do it well. So, small businesses actually know that if there is any chance of their clients, buying their products or services, they must use social media. But the thing is, they have a fear. And that fear is spending their money unnecessarily on the wrong thing. Because it's literally a nightmare. Imagine if it was you spending a lot of money to run ads for a particular business, only to find that the efforts are not bearing any fruit, right? And that's the main fear of any business owner, to want to invest in social media, but only to be stopped for the fact that they spend money without seeing any return on ad spend, which is total nightmare. So now, let's look at the social media marketing advantage. One, there is a low barrier to entry. You can only start with a laptop and Wi-Fi. Second thing is recurring revenue. You can charge clients $1,500 to $10,000 a month for ongoing services. Global reach. You can work with clients from where you live in your hometown all the way to Dubai. People who are in Dubai most of the time are well-to-do and they've got all these big businesses running. So yeah, you can literally work with anybody all around the world. And if you are in a country which has like a weak currency and easily adapts to the dollar or the British pound, it simply means that you are at a high advantage. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say for this part. Chapter 2. Let's talk about the services that sell. Here are the 3 pillars of SMMA. Social media management. What you'll do. First, you need a content calendar. Content calendar creation. You need to plan posts 30 to 90 days in advance. And this is something that I personally use on my YouTube channel. I know it may not look like it because, sometimes I may not be on schedule with posting. And when I say I'm not on schedule, I don't mean I'm late when it comes to my uploading to YouTube. When I choose to upload to YouTube, when I choose to not be consistent, it means I am uploading more than my general frequency. For my YouTube channel, I'm only supposed to be uploading 2 videos a week. But sometimes it can even be 5 videos a week depending on my workflow. But even if I'm releasing 5 a week, you'll find that I still have about, 5, 7 to 10 videos just waiting to be uploaded. I schedule these things in advance. And that's the same thing that you can do in terms of social media management. So you need to schedule your posts to make sure you are really consistent. The second thing is community engagement. You need to respond to the comments and the DM. So you need to respond to the comments and the DMs in the brand that you're working for's voice. I mean, when I was just starting up in social media marketing, I had no idea that when you choose to run ads for clients or you choose to offer services, you would be the front face of the business, right? It means the comments would be coming from you, the DMs would be coming from you. You are the one who is going to be onboarding the prospect. I did not know these things, but now that you've joined the Distinction Startup, you have this inside information, and I can tell you firsthand that this is exactly what you're going to be doing. Another thing is analytics reporting. You need to show your clients their ROI with driven data. Now, this is also something that I didn't know when I was just starting out 2 years ago. When you're working with clients, especially when you're running ads for them, you need to show them measurable key point indicators when you are running their ads. Like, how much are they spending on their ads? How many customers are clicking the link and buying their services compared to the amount of money that they are spending for ads? How much profit are they making on top of the money that they are spending for ads? All of these things need to be put into consideration, right? Yeah. What else do I talk about? I wasn't supposed to do that. Alright. You won't know what app that is, okay? You won't know what app that is. If you want that app's name, give me money. I will show you that app's name. I'm just joking. It's something related to Doom, but anyway. Pro tip. You need to use tools like Ladder and Hootsuite to automate the scheduling. So now, in a lot of my YouTube videos, I do talk about especially Hootsuite in terms of scheduling content and basically content creation for the clients and stuff like that. These are just some app recommendations that you can use because they've generated me 30K a month at the moment. All right, let's go. Content creation. You need static posts. This includes carousels, infographics, and memes. Did you know memes could be an ad? Like, I recently learned about this. By creating memes and creating something that people can laugh at, you would actually be leveraging their laughter to become your potential client, and that is freaking sick, if I'm going to be honest with you. Right? That is freaking sick, if I'm going to be honest with you. Because, if something makes you laugh, more than likely you're going to pay attention to it, right? And when you pay attention to something, it simply means that you are invested, and when you're invested, you're more than likely to buy. So memes are a very, very effective way of running your ads. Video content. You do short form reels, TikToks, and long form YouTube videos. Hey, do you know that as a marketing agency, especially when you're working on the content side of things, you can, listen, I haven't yet got into this. When you niche down, you need to pick one niche and one service. Which means when you pick running ads, in most cases you won't want to create the videos for your clients. And in most cases, you might not even want to create the ad copy or even the infographics or the images that are used in the ads. These things the business has to provide them. But if your niche and your service is to basically create content, if you're a content creation agency, then you can focus on these things right here, like the short form content, the TikToks, and the long form YouTube videos, as this is also going to drive you massive traffic. Now, you also need to consider user generated content, the UGC. Purpose customer testimonials, right? So this is basically you looking towards the clients that the business has worked with, taking maybe some copy that they've written down, like their comments, or even just taking maybe a video, right? Some people, some clients are so courteous as to leave a video talking about how freaking dope your services are as an agency. And this can really help you in terms of attracting new clients for the business that you are working for. And not only that, even for your own agency, when you can get your client to record some copy talking about how freaking dope you are literally rigging the game. You are winning the client game. Here's a case study example. A fitness coach's Instagram grew from 2,000 to 50,000 followers in 6 months through consistent reels demonstrating workout techniques. You see that? That is how quickly your brand can grow through creating content. Right? Paid advertising, the moneymaker. Campaign types. There is brand awareness, reach, conversion, sales, retargeting, cart abandoners, and platform breakdown. Shit. I'm acting like I'm not the one who was writing all of this down. Alright, so let me just basically explain to you about these one by one. Alright, so brand awareness is how many people know about your business and what you do inside your company. A lot of people will not know about you when starting up, and this is okay. You need to slowly grow it. The meta platforms have really good KPIs for you to measure such things, and all you have to do is, read them. Conversion, the amount of people who you transform from people who are just scrolling on the internet to people who choose to purchase your services. That's called conversion. To convert potential clients into paying clients, and that's why it's directly correlated to sales. Then there is retargeting. Have you ever heard of the term ad retargeting? Your ads don't need to be shown to everybody. They need to be shown to a particular type of people who would buy the services that your ad attracts. I don't know if I've said it the right way. You need to push your ad to people who would be more than likely to buy your products and your services, and people who don't know what they're doing, or people who just click for the sake of it, people who don't really want your products and services. Those are the people who will be abandoning cart even when they are just about to buy, and that's pretty annoying as an agency owner, if I'm going to be very honest with you. People who are about to buy and then I don't know what they see, or they change their mind, or maybe just, let's say, they were curious and they wanted to see how your landing page looks like. These are annoying. Then let's do a platform breakdown, right? Facebook, best for 35 plus demographics, right? This is good if you're looking for a worldwide audience. We have TikTok. This is ideal for Gen Z focused brands. What is the age of your target audience? If your target audience is older people, right? Let's say 25 to 60. Facebook is the best option for this. But if you're targeting younger people, like let's say from 16 to 25, then TikTok is the best suggestion for you to run ads and create content. Then if you're looking for business owners, people who do the more traditional businesses like restaurant owners and owners of these strong backbone companies, right? You need to use LinkedIn because this is where they're found. This is ideal for B2B lead generation, and this is a gold mine. I can't emphasize this enough. So let me compare the chart for ad costs. Oh, this is visual aid. I don't do visual aids in my course. If you want visual aids, you can see them in my YouTube channel. Here, I just basically try and explain to you. And of course, if you've got any question, make sure to drop them in the question section above. Now, let's talk about onboarding. You need to have a discovery call script. can go something like, Mrs. Client, before we discuss strategies, let's explore your biggest social media pain point. What is it that you find most difficulty in doing when it comes to attracting new clients to your business? This is something that is going to give you a bit of inside information before you work with this particular client. You need to ask questions like, is it low engaging? Is it inconsistent posting? Or is it an unclear return on investment? Because these are all pain points that business owners face. So if you reach out to a business, right, you can say something like, hello, I am Kalaluka from Phoenix Media Grow Marketing Agency, and I am interested in what you do. I found your platform on Google Maps or, whatever platform, and I run marketing. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions correlated to your business? Then you can proceed with asking some of these questions. I will create more in-depth courses on how to actually talk to your clients, but this is basically just an overall, right? That's just a way you can basically do it. Here are some of the tools that you can use. Questionnaire. Google form with 10 key questions. Sometimes you won't need to be asking questions through word of mouth. Sometimes the business owner won't be comfortable to tell you these directly because they may be confidential to the business. So, Google form is the best place for a business owner to spill out their heart and let you know where they're suffering so you can help them in a more effective way. The second thing is a SWOT analysis. Do you know what SWOT analysis is? It's the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that a business has to face. You need to identify the brand's social media strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And this includes their competitors. You need to have everything before you even reach out to the business. You need to talk about their competitors, you need to talk about what you see strong, and you need to talk about where they look weak. If they don't have a website, you need to make sure you address that so that they know that you're serious and that you've done your homework. Now let's talk about strategy development. 4-point framework. Number 1, audience archetype. Create 3 detailed customer personas. What you need to do is you need to imagine your target client before they even begin to work with you. If you do this, you're going to set yourself more realistic expectations from what you're going to hear from the clients who are about to work with you, and you can come up with, answers that they may or may not, but may be looking for. You need to mix content. 40% educational, 30% promotional, and 30% entertaining. 40% educational. Why it's the highest percentage of all of these here is because your client needs to know the problems that they're facing. A lot of these clients actually don't even know that they're facing a problem. But if you highlight that problem through an educational piece of content, it means you've solved the majority of the problems that they are currently facing. Promotional is just basically to draw clients in and, increase your own customer base. Then entertaining means, nobody's gonna, be a fan of you or watch your content if you're boring. Let me just say that. You need to be much more fun. You need to come up with your persona very early on because this is going to serve you very well in your business. Then we have the platform priority. Focus on 2 or 3 core platforms. A man who chases many rabbits catches none at all. Focus on 2 or 3 because this will help you narrow your focus to attract the clients that you have been looking for. And if you fail to attract the clients that you have been looking for, then it's just a sorry sight because you're focusing so much. You can't be creating content on X, on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok, LinkedIn, everywhere. No, you need to pick 2 or 3 core platforms that you are highly focused in. And the recommendation I can give on these platforms are Facebook and Instagram. Because a lot of people depend, regardless of age, use Facebook and Instagram. I've seen people who are above 15 who use Facebook and Instagram, and I've seen people who are above 40 who use Facebook and Instagram. So I believe these are the best two, but it depends with what your clients are, what your clients are selling. But if you're running an SMMA, I would really advise you to focus on Instagram and Facebook, because this is going to give you a higher conversion rate. Now let's talk about KPI targets. Set specific goals. Like for example, 50% engagement rate increase, or maybe $30,000 in ROAS. You know what I mean? So basically, you need to set specific goals for the business owner that you're working for to even say, okay, so I have invested $1,000 into ads. So by the end of the other month, I'm supposed to be making about $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. And that's basically how it's all going to work out between you and the potential client. Now, phase 3. Let's talk about content production. Number 1, you need batch creation. Film 15 reels in one session, right? This means that you are leveraging your time to have the highest return on your investment, because investment doesn't only have to do with money. It also has to deal with the time that you spend. Now, AI assistance. The second thing that I'm going to talk about is AI assistance. You need to use ChatGPT for caption ideas, Canva Magic Design for templates. 3, you need client approval. You need to share client approval. You need to share your copy or your content through frame.io or Google Drive, because this is where your clients are going to see what you've been working on, and basically if they like it or they don't. So these are also tools that you can use later on. Phase 4, distribution and optimization. Proven tactics. Optimizing optimal posting times. Use platform native analytics to find peak hours. You need to test different times and see what times your audience is most responsive, because it's not all the time your audience is going to be online. And sometimes, when your ad is not seen that much, it tends to be like, discarded by Facebook. I feel ashamed to say that, but that's just true. So basically, you really need to test what hours your clients are mostly active. This is very important. The second thing is A/B testing. Try 2 different ad creatives with $10 a day budget, then scale the winner. You need to start with $10 a day. You need to create 2 of them, $10 a day each. And then the one that does better, right? Let's say, for instance, there are 2 ad videos that you've made for your clients. The one that outperforms the other is the one that you should really focus on. That's when the next day you can invest $50. The next day you can invest $100. You need to test with the least amount of money that you possibly can, and then the winner gets approval to start consuming larger amounts of money, and this is going to help you tenfold when it comes to getting the best return on ad spend from the ads that you run for your clients. Now, why businesses need you? Number 1, brand awareness. Analogies that sell. Social media is the modern billboard, but instead of highway traffic, you're seen by millions of targeted users daily. Do you know what I'm talking about? Here's an example. For billboards, only people who've got cars and are driving, or maybe are sidewalking, can see the products and services that you're offering. But with social media, every single person who is using a phone can see what you have to offer and basically who you are as a business. So social media is like having your name in front of the moon. Imagine having your brand marketed on the moon where everybody can see. That is social media, right? Cool. Now, So, data point. Facebook ad targeting allows you to reach women aged 28 to 35 in Chicago who follow yoga influencers and recently searched for vegan recipes. Do you see how you can use data-driven approaches to launch your campaigns? This is what you call retargeted ads. It means that your ads don't just go to everybody. You can tailor them. You can tailor them yourself, right? You can tailor them to fit your client's needs, your client's clients. You know what I mean? Your client's customers. You need to tailor them in a way that fills up the desire for your client's customers. And just like the example that you see on screen, this works just as well. And if possible, you can even start using AI. You know what I mean? AI nowadays is very much implemented, and you can implement it in your agency to retarget them even more. 3, engagement and loyalty. Strategy spotlight. Host weekly Instagram Q&A sessions to build trust. For an audience to build trust in the brand that you're working with, they need to be communication. Without communication, everything is dead, right? So if you are to host Q&As, you are basically saving your spot inside your client's heart, and thus saving a spot for their money inside your bank account. Now, my client's success story. Pet food brand gained 8,000 email subscribers in 3 months through a cute pet Instagram contest with a giveaway prize, right? Basically, by hosting prizes and by doing all of these fun things that may look cringe on some businesses, you can do a lot. You know what I mean? You can gain a lot of client attentions. It's getting really dark in here. One sec. Let me just turn it. You got a bulb right here. Alright, so yeah, that's where I was. It's not too bright. Where's the bulb at? It's still too bright. Anyway, I'll just let it rock like this. So, chapter 5. Your career transformation. Skills you master. Copywriting. You need to learn how to create persuasive captions. You need to learn how to basically write copy, right? Okay, but this is actually dumb. Okay, let me tell you a secret. You don't need to learn how to copyright, alright? You need to learn how to ask AI to copyright for you in the best possible way. And if you learn how to leverage AI the right way, it's going to give you a huge advantage when it comes to the type of copy that you write for your clients or even your own agency. Because nowadays, it's like no mystery to say that AI is taking over, right? AI is like the new normal, right? Which means everybody's using AI. There's no stigma behind it. You need to make sure that your copy is so good that your clients won't believe it. And unfortunately, you might not be able to do this by yourself, but with the help of AI. So now, the second thing is data analysis. Interpreting CTR, CPC, and ROAS, right? This basically means CTR means click-through rate. CPC means cost per click. That's how much you're charged by the social media platform for every click that customers make on your ad. Then there's ROAS, which stands for return on ad spend, right? You need to calculate how much money you are making compared to how much money you are spending on ads. Then there's client management, handling objectives like why should I pay you instead of doing it myself. You need to learn how to tell clients that they need you. I'm going to talk about this in another course inside this SMMA section. I'm going to talk more about it, but you need to learn how to tell clients why they should work with you opposed to working with other agencies or just simply doing it themselves, which is an easy objection to handle. Alright. Okay, so basically, I know I'm keeping you in suspense. So basically, if a client tells you to say, why should I work with you rather than running the ads myself? You can basically tell them to say, because you are not as experienced as I am, and you might be at risk of burning money on ineffective ads and ineffective retargeting. That is going to plant fear in their hearts, and nobody wants to lose money on ineffective ads. Yeah, I don't know how I was writing this down, so I don't know. Understand this how you may. Understand this how you may. Alright, so basically, this table talks about how much you can charge clients depending on your skill level. Alright, let's talk about it. As a beginner, like right now until the time you are an intermediate, it is allowed for you to charge your clients it is allowed for you to charge your clients $1,000, $5,000. Do you know what I mean? And for now, as a beginner, you're only required to have 2 to 3 clients. You know, when you have 1 client, you're a beginner. When you have 3 clients, you're basically still a beginner. But when you start ranging between 5 to 7 clients, then you're an intermediate, of which you can start charging your clients $10K to $20K a month to run their services. Then when you're finally advanced, then you can charge 50 plus K a month, because you know there are businesses out there, high leverage businesses, that are willing to pay more than $500,000 a month simply just on marketing, and you can start, playing with those sharks as you grow. Yeah. Oh yeah, and you know that you're an advance because of having like 15 clients. All right, let's talk about the lifestyle perks. The lifestyle perks. Everybody wants that type of lifestyle where you have location freedom, time freedom, and financial freedom. For location freedom, you can work from anywhere around the world. You can work in Bali, you can work in Barcelona, you can work in Dubai, anywhere where you can sit down with an internet connection and actually run your services. Anywhere you can work. Then there's time flexibility. You can choose your own hours. You can work whatever time suits you. Of course, sometimes you may be working with international clients who've got a completely different time zone to you, but that's okay. That simply means you just need to use contractor arbitrage to run the services. I'll talk about contractor arbitrage in a bit. Then you have the skill probability. These strategies work across industries. You know what I mean? When you are an expert in social media marketing, you learn certain skills that apply in other different business models, which is going to serve you very, very well. Because if you're anything like me, you're not only planning to just run a social media marketing agency for the rest of your life, you're trying to also diverge into a different business model. So yeah, that basically works. That basically works. So contractor arbitrage is basically the ability for you to hire a contractor. Okay, let me use simpler words. Contractor arbitrage is basically the ability for you to hire somebody who knows how to do the skill to do it for you and pay them the difference. Let's say, for instance, you run ads as the service for your marketing agency. You hire somebody from South Africa who runs ads professionally, and you pay them $500 a month to run ads for one client. And the client pays you upfront $5,000 to run the services for them. It simply means that you are going to profit $4,500 while you're going to pay the contractor $500 to run the service. And that's basically contractor arbitrage. Chapter 6. Let's talk about launching your agency. First, we have niche selection. I talked about this earlier. You need to look at your niche selection depending on the profitability. Do businesses in this niche have marketing budgets? E.g., dentists? Yes. Or non-profits? Maybe not. It's not a good idea to want to work with non-profit organizations, right? Because they basically don't have no marketing budget. So you need to really be careful with the clients that you're working with, and you need to do very thorough research. 2, passion. Can you see yourself creating content for this industry daily? Do you actually like the niche? Let's say, for instance, you're somebody to run ads for an OnlyFans agency. I don't know, maybe your morals are different to mine. Maybe you want to run ads for an OnlyFans agency. Depending on where you're coming from, that might not sit very well with your soul. So you need to actually make the selection based on your own passion. I'm not saying to only go for things you're passionate about, like passion projects. I mean, I've worked with loaning companies, even though I don't really like loaning companies, but there are just certain businesses that I certainly wouldn't ever work with, ever. 3, competition. Is the market saturated? Avoid the general SMMAs. Go into a micro niche like SMMA for vegan restaurants. You need to actually have a very, very micro niche, a small niche, something that you are sure isn't saturated. When I was just starting out SMMA, I was generalized. I was doing every single business, and that is a very huge mistake in building your agency. You need to pick one service and one niche, and that's basically how you are going to scale. Alright? So these are just examples. Step 2, we'll talk about team building. First hires. First of all, VA. A VA is basically like a virtual assistant, somebody who handles and schedules meetings and talks about engagement, somebody to engage on your page and talk to your clients while you are busy living that Dubai life. Let me not say that. Let me just say working on other things in other businesses, maybe, because it's known by now that Dubai life isn't the authentic life that you can be living, right? Then you need freelance designers who create who create images on Canva or Adobe Photoshop. You need freelancers, in short, people who are good at creating videos, creating copy, and all of these will only be paid in percentages depending on how they work. Then another one is an ad specialist. And you need to pay them in percentage of your ad spend. Sometimes you can use the same contract arbitrage that I mentioned earlier, where you can just basically pay them a fixed amount of money while you take a certain percentage home with you. If you didn't get any of that, make sure to ask it in the question section above, because I really insist that you ask questions, because without asking questions and pretending you already know, mind you paid for this program. So if you don't ask questions, nobody's gonna help you. I'm the one to help you here, right? Let's talk about the cold outreach script. This is basically what you text them. Hi, name. I noticed your stunning floral arrangements helped local florists increase wedding bookings by 40% through Instagram Reels. Could we schedule a 15-minute call to explore how we might do the same for you? This is very direct and basically repels a no, because this is not like, oh no, this person just DM'd me and I'm not sure what this person wants. This is a direct request, a direct proposal. So more than likely, your client is going to accept. But if you're having any difficulties, then you can book a one-to-one with me by simply reaching out to me on this particular server. Send me a direct message. Now, let's look at the pricing models. You can either charge a monthly retainer to your clients, $1,500 to $5,000 a month. You can be performance-based, charging a base fee plus percentage of the sales generated. Or you can be project-based, $500 to $2,000 for one-time audits. You know what I mean? Everything that you do can attract a fee. Or you can even generate through ROAS, return on ad spend. You can only charge through the amount of money that you make the client. And this is one of the most effective. Personally, I choose the monthly retainer because it's more safe and many advantages with it. You can test and find the one that works out best for you. Now let's look at the case studies. Case 1, the local gym. Problem: struggling to attract members post-pandemic. Solution: launched fitness challenge, TikTok series. Brand your targeting ads to 3-mile radius. Result: 200 new members in 60 days. Case study 2. E-commerce jewelry brand. Problem: high cart abandonment rate. Solution: create retargeted ads with urgency. Only 3 days left at this price. This is basically a trick that people have been using in the book for a very long time. Creating a sense of urgency in your client. It's very important, right? You need to produce UGC style unbox videos, and the result: 35% conversion rate increase. Right. Chapter 8. Let's look at the tools and the resources. Essential toolkit. We have content creation, Canva, CapCut, InShot, and Adobe Express. For analytics, you can have Google Data Studio or Meta Business Suite, or both. Automation, you can use Zapier, Connect Forms to Google Sheets. For learning, you can use the Meta Blueprint, and you can get a free ads certification. I didn't even know this existed until now, because when you are able to present to your clients that you're even certified by Google itself to run ads, that is a game changer. Here's a pro tip. You need to create a swipe file of top performing posts in your niche using Pinterest or Milanote. Yeah. You can tell from my accent that I'm Zambian, okay? Sometimes you need to be giving me a break, right? English is not my first language. Okay, it is, but my country doesn't thrive on English. Conclusion. Your first 30-day action plan. Day 1 to 5, you need to choose a niche and register your business name. Day 6 to 15, you need to build a portfolio, and you need to offer free audits to 3 businesses. When you build a portfolio, it's basically not you working with the businesses hands-on, but if you want to, you can offer maybe your services for free to 1 or 2 businesses and see how it works out. But the best way is to create free audits, and I don't think any business can refuse an audit. From day 16 to 25, you need to reach out to 10 plus ideal clients. And day 26 to 30, you need to onboard your first paying client. So basically, between now and a month from now, you have 30 days to do everything that I've mentioned here. Get a pen and I hope you have been writing everything I've been telling you on a paper, right? You don't go through an online program and an online course that you paid for just listening like this. You need to actually get a pen and a paper and note down what I'm telling you. Otherwise, you're going to miss all of that heavenly glory. All right. So let's talk about the final motivation. The social media gold rush isn't coming. It's here. Your agency isn't just a business. It's a legacy in the making. Start today and let's make your phone buzz with client success stories and the you have received the notification, because I can guarantee you that is the most important notification you will ever receive in your life. Thanks so much for watching. Scroll down right now and watch the next course on SMMA if there is any, because I will be, uploading every once a week. But the thing is, I'm not trying to pack up my schedule. I'm also a busy guy. And if you've got any questions, as I mentioned earlier, make sure to scroll up to the question section and ask your questions freely, because if you don't ask questions, you are going to be left behind. I bid you farewell, sir.